Do African immigrants in the United States, and I guess I'll include the UK as well, have a third identity? This question came up because I was asked a couple years back in one of my African Student Association events, would you ever move back to Nigeria, where my family's from? And I thought the question was really odd because I've never lived in Nigeria. So the idea of moving back to me seems a little bit misplaced. But now that I'm taking an immigration policy class, I've started to read about and do research about the idea of immigrant identity, particularly for the children of immigrants. So for me, although I'm a dual citizen, I've spent my entire life living in the United States. I consider myself an American because why wouldn't I? But I have talked with other kids who are like me.
You got American citizenship. It's a difference between being American by blood and being American by paperwork. What that means is if I was born in Nigeria, that doesn't make me Nigerian by ethnic group. That means that I'm a Nigerian citizen if they have policies in place where people that are born there now get to classify themselves as a Nigerian. So I think this is where like birthright citizenship and things like that is like needs to be not changed or not taken away completely, but it needs to be changed. Because there's no reason I'm not allowed to do that in another country. If I'm born in Mexico, that doesn't make me a Mexican if both of my parents are still Black American. I'm not a Mexican. I'm a Black American who happened to be born in Mexico, and I could possibly, depending on what their laws and policies is, I don't know, be a Mexican citizen. There is a big difference. You know what I'm saying? So this is the problem, and this is where the tethering comes from, because we're not allowed to do this in these other countries. You can't go to Europe. You can't go to freaking, I don't know, what's like a random country. You can't go to Switzerland and be like, yeah, this is not my ethnic group. No, you're just a citizen here. It's a big difference. So this is a big issue that we have here.
First or second generation, whatever you want to call it, who have really said to me, why would you say you're American first, you're Nigerian first? And I think that criticism is odd because for me, I don't know anything about the politics of Nigeria. I mean, I know where my family is from. I know what state we're from. But when it comes to adopting Nigerian identity, I can't place myself in the same conversations nor hold the same standing as someone who's grown up and has only known Nigeria the way that I know the U.S.
So you can apply that logic with that, but you can't apply that logic when it comes to us. And you still, just because you're born here, that means that you're the same. That's tethering. That's the definition of it right there.
I feel that there's this need for a third culture identity where it's not that I'm American or I'm Nigerian, but I am Nigerian American. But I think the issue with this particular immigrant group compared to others, like, for example, Mexican immigrants and their children who have...
Real quick, somebody said I get that, but American is not a race. Race is a social construct. Race doesn't even exist. If like race is a social construct, Black American is a ethnic group, and that's the problem. These people call themselves Black Americans. That's the ethnic group. That's the problem. I think there's a big thing that people don't understand when it comes to race, ethnicity, when it comes to like, because people assume like there's a separation, and America is the only place where people look at Black and white as an ethnic group. So Black Americans, when we say we're Black, we're not talking about just race. We're talking about our culture. We're talking about our tribe. So like somebody that's from Nigeria and they would say that they're Igbo, they're talking about their tribe, but then they're saying they're Nigerian. So I'm Igbo, but I'm Nigerian. I'm Nigerian, I'm Igbo, right? In America, it's the same way, but globally, we view race as just anybody that's Black or melanated skin, that mean they Black. Anybody that's white with light skin or I guess pale skin, that mean they white. But that exists globally. In America, there was a group of people that were classified as that. They were changed, that were reclassified. Matter of fact, I got the screenshot right here. I'm about to put it on screen for y'all. I'm glad that I actually just seen it. Let me put the screenshot on screen for y'all real quick. Hold on. This is what I wanted to show y'all. Look at this. So we are the only people that have been classified as that. Look at this. 1492 Indian, 1600 slave, 1832 Negro, 1900 Negro, 1950 color, 1965 Black, 1970 Afro-American, or I guess African-American or Afro-American, 1980 Black, 1988 African-American, 1999 minority, 2000s Black, 2017 African-American. We are the only people that's been classified this many times, and we actually been classified more than this, depending on the state that you was in, especially in the South in the 17 1800s. So that people only associate themselves with Black when they associate themselves to America. Before 1965, other people that were melanated in Africa and the Caribbean were not calling themselves black people. They weren't saying, I'm a black person. This is something that people started to identify with because America came into power, right? And America became the main place. And we made black cool. We had the global apparatus of the media and everything else. So people started to say, I'm black. And then it just got classified as some type of racial social construct. But we know that that's not true. Race doesn't actually exist. It is socially. It's socially. It is what it is. It's social. So black, again, black was not even when it was classified, it wasn't supposed to be classified as just some type of race. We were the only people that were identifying as that. And again, that was a tribe that we were identifying as, or I guess that's how we looked at it. And the problem is people started to tether onto it. That's why we changing it from now it's foundational Black American or Black American, but people starting to tether onto that as well. So yeah, American is not a race, but again, race is a social construct. Black is not even a real thing. It's I guess it's not a race thing. It's socially. So I get what you're saying, but I don't think you get what I'm saying. Facts. Black ethnically and from America or the U.S. Exactly. It's only been for America. It's been that way. It's been American and American only from day one. We just accept it as, oh, everybody get to be black. No. What is black? Somebody explain that to me. What is black? I had a debate with somebody on Tariq Live one day, like a year ago. And there was this dude that came up on a live and he was just like, yeah, we all black. I came up with him. I'm like, I asked the dude, what makes you black? And he was just like, well, okay, well, having African ancestry makes you black. And I said, well, do you believe all life comes from Africa? He said, yeah. So wouldn't that logic mean that everybody black? Well, you got to have African ancestry and you got to be melanated. Okay, well, what do you think Filipino people, why do you think that their skin is melanated and they have African ancestry? Since you said all people that live come from Africa. So what is being black? Is it African ancestry? So because then a Philippine, Manny Pacquiao black then. What about the country of India? Not like Indian American, I'm talking about the country of India. What are they? Because the reason why they're melanated is because they have an African lineage. A lot of those people are darker than me. You get what I'm saying? So are they black too? No, you wouldn't classify themselves as black. So by definition, that means it's not genetically, right? What would you classify somebody go look at a Moroccan person. Moroccan people look like Europeans. They're very, very light. They're like mixed with Arab. So what would you consider them? Are they black too? Technically, they're from Africa. You get what I'm saying? So just by definition, that means that it's not something that's like, it's not phenotypical, I guess. Or I guess, no, not phenotypical, but it's not based on your skin color. And it's not simply based on you having African DNA. And then I asked the dude, well, who are the only people that classify themselves as black on paper as far as an ethnic group? He couldn't argue with me. It's Americans, Black Americans specifically. See how people can miss me with the whole we all black, we all the same. No, we not. No, we're not. And it's never going to be that case. It's never going to be that point. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not talking about the person in the chat. I'll just respond to your comment. I'm speaking in general because people just generally don't do their research and don't understand this stuff. You know? So. And that's part of the problem because people identify as that on paper. I can't go to their countries and identify as that on paper. I can't go to no country and identify as anything but what I am. So it's that simple. American Indian is our true ethnicity. The word black is a weapon that's used to intentionally group all melanated people, under one category. Yeah, but that's why we pushing back on that. Like, that's why we pushing back on it. We changing the narrative. But I'm not disagreeing with you, Femi. Immigrants are United States citizens, not American citizens. Funny, because they just started saying that. I get your point 100%. If you immigrated here, you're not black. When we look at the origin of the word black, it's actually the opposite of the so-called hue. They don't question white people when they say that they European Americans. So why they call us African Americans when we never been to Africa or never talked about it? Casey, what's going on? They have born black people in China. They are black Chinese. They would be melanated Chinese, not black Chinese. Why don't you go to China and tell them people that's melanated in China, tell them that they black. They're gonna be like, oh, they're gonna look at you like you crazy. You sound crazy as hell. Y'all gonna stop trying to throw our lineage on our culture on everybody. Go to a tribe in Africa where they like an uncontacted tribe and tell them that they black. They're gonna look at you. They're gonna look at you like you freaking stupid. They don't know what you talking about. Go to North Sentinel Island off the coast of India, in a little island that's closed off that the Indian government said that you can't go to. Tell them people that they black. They darker than me. They black as them blackout shades in the back. Tell them that they black people. They're gonna behead you and throw a spear and they're gonna shoot it up your It's gonna go through your mouth. You gonna be looking stupid. We all black. All right. They finna burn you black and they finna eat you and throw some seasoning on you. What you talking about? They gonna eat you with some berries. You sound crazy as hell. No disrespect, but I'm just saying. Like, I'm just saying. Like, y'all gonna trying to black everybody. Y'all miss me with that, man. You can do it. I ain't doing it. They gonna behead you. They gonna do a tribal dance, get to pulling goat's blood and goat's milk and mixing it and throwing it on you, all type of rituals and all that. Y'all crazy, man. They gonna throw a spiritual. Y'all can miss me with that everybody black stuff, man. No, they not, bro. I'm sorry. Let's get back to the video. I'm kind of talking too much. My bad, y'all. Let me get back to the video.
A Chicano identity where it's like, I don't know because I'm not Mexican, but from my perspective, it feels as though you're not necessarily trying to compete with how Mexican you are to those who are in Mexico still. You have your own identity. I would say the same thing about Dominicans who are in New York or Puerto Ricans, although Puerto Rico is part of the US, where there's an identity that is attached to being that ethnicity in America. But I feel as though when it comes to Nigerians, we are always trying to compete to see who is the most Nigerian, especially those of us who grow up outside of the country. One of the most popular examples of this, though it's not specific to...
Somebody said they're going to cook you rotisserie. They're going to make you rotisserie style. Oh, man.
Africans, but is whether or not you speak your family's language. So I'm Yoruba. Do you speak Yoruba? Do you speak Igbo, Hausa, whatever? You don't really see that many Hausa, but do you know the Afrobeat songs? Do you speak Pidgin? Do you dance? All this type of stuff where it's like, you know, I'm not saying that that isn't important, but I do think it is a fool's errand. I think it is unfulfilling to constantly attempt to try and be a version of Nigeria that you have never experienced, and that truly isn't your part of your identity because you've never grown up there, right? I'm not going to say that I'm just a girl from Oyo State if I've only grown up in Maryland, right? Although that might be where my family is from. And I don't think that there's an issue with taking pride of the fact that you're not entirely Nigerian or entirely American, you're Nigerian American. There's an identity there. I think,
or a Nigerian that lives in America. That's the identity.
I think that is constantly growing because so many Nigerians exist outside of Nigeria. When I have kids, I don't know if I'm going to marry a Nigerian, but they will have to have a new layer of identity that I
just thought about something real quick. If a Nigerian moves to Ghana, do they classify themselves as Nigerian Ghanaians? Just a thought. Just a thought. If you saying that if you move to America, that makes you a Nigerian American. So if you move to Ghana, which is your neighboring country, do these people classify themselves as Nigerian Ghanaians? Or if you're Nigerian and you move to South Africa, are you now a Nigerian South African? I'm just curious. Somebody answer that question for me in the chat. The answer is no, they don't. They're going to say, I'm a Nigerian who lives in South Africa. I'm a Nigerian who was born in Ethiopia and I live in Ethiopia. They're not now Ethiopian. You get the point that I'm making? Like, if you a Nigerian and you move to China, are you now a Nigerian Chinese person? Like, come on now. Make it make sense. No, you would be a Nigerian that was born or grew up in China. When it comes to America and attaching themselves with black people, oh, now I'm a Nigerian American. We have been indoctrinated to think that this is the way, and it's not. It literally makes no sense. Come on, man. It makes no sense. If you a Nigerian and you was born in Mexico, are you now a Nigerian Mexican? No, you would be you would classify yourselves as a Nigerian who lives in Mexico or is born in Mexico. Like, come on, man. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me.
would not say is the same as my
They're
parents
gonna be mad when I post this video. They're gonna be calling me all type of names under the video, but I don't care.
who grew up in Africa. So I kind of wonder, maybe for those who are in the UK, where most people are, you know, first or second gen, is there a sense of identity that isn't quite Nigerian or British, but is something in between?